Hey guys, what's up? This is Anime Rocker 17, and I wanted to do this video since last week because, as some of you may know, I'm a fan of professional wrestling. I have been since I was a kid, and last week, July the 4th, neither me nor my family did anything for the 4th of July, so yeah, that holiday just sort of creeped up on us. We didn't do much, but I just stayed home, ordered a pizza, and watched. I decided to watch Impact Wrestling because there's nothing else good on. And here's the thing that surprised me. I really liked that show. I thought that was a pretty good wrestling show. We got some good wrestling. No 5-star matches, nothing like that. But the main event was exciting. The other matches were really cool. There's some guys there that I think are great stars, and I think it's really Impact Wrestling. I think is slowly starting to get their shit together, because I've never watched TNA wrestling that often before for a lot of reasons. One is because guys who used to be in the WWE that, quite frankly, I don't want to see anymore are there. And it has TNA Impact Wrestling has a very long and studied history of just being terrible, of just sucking, just not being very good. And if you don't believe me, there's tens upon tens of botchamanias and hundreds of clips in those botchamanias to show how stupid the decisions that these guys have really made. Like how just downright horrible and stupid, just face it, stupid decisions that they've made on their part. That they would think that this is actually good or entertaining in any way. But this show I saw was actually pretty good. It was pretty legitimate. There was no stupid gimmicks or hicks or anything like that. It was just these guys wrestling and certain storylines progressing. Now, it's not all perfect. There are a lot of bad things. There are a lot of things I didn't like about this. But there are a lot of good things that I just want to point out, because I am going to watch this next show. It's what's today? Today's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm going to watch tomorrow's Impact Wrestling. And I'm eagerly awaiting it. I know there are spoilers, but I probably won't look them up. Even if I do, I'll forget what they are. That's usually what I do at SmackDown. I look at the spoilers, but I watch SmackDown anyway because I usually forget what the spoilers are. I have to read them every day. But yeah, here are the things I really liked about Impact that I hope keep going through the next shows. Because I don't know if now it's decent, now they got their shit together, but all I know is before, they sucked hard. Okay, one thing I really liked. First off, good wrestling. Interesting wrestling. Little to no botches. I did see some miscommunication in one of the matches. I think it was Kazarian versus AJ Styles. Not necessarily botched, just some miscommunication. And but other than that, it was all the wrestling was pretty good. It was pretty okay, you know. These guys, these are good wrestlers, you know. They know what they're doing. You know, it's nothing bad. The storylines are okay. Whenever I see a storyline that has a stable or a group take over the company, it just reminds me of the NWO storyline. It's like, this is the one storyline no one can just let go. Is a certain group forms and tries to take over a company. This time it's the Aces and Eights, but I guess it's not exactly like the NWO storyline because, first of all, it's a biker gang, and two, they don't really want to take over the company. They just want to be in there and do whatever the hell they want, you know. They just want to be on top. But I guess that's the definition. But I guess you could say I'm nitpicking, but whatever. Yeah, another really good thing I like. some interesting guys, some interesting characters, you know. AJ Styles has always been known for being like almost like a precursor to the John Morrison thing, you know. Exciting, high flying, he's you know, lightning flash in the pan thing. But now he's really changed his entire gimmick, his entire persona. Now he's a slower, darker, more methodical, but he hasn't lost any of his athleticism. He still does those excellent high-flying moves. He just keeps it at a more steadier pace. You know, he's cold, he's calculating, and it's a gimmick a lot of wrestlers try to do. They don't do it very well because they just come off as boring. AJ does not come off as boring. And that's because I don't regularly watch AJ Styles. I see him, I notice this, and I really like it, you know? As opposed to someone like Randy Orton, who tries to do this and it just comes off as boring. And, but when AJ does it, it's really cool. Another interesting guy. Joseph Park. I know he used to be Abyss, but this Joseph, it's a very funny character. I like it. Hernandez. Supermex. Damn, that dude is cool. Like, I very rarely see a guy that thick, you know, willingly leap across ropes like that. And I was like, I like this dude. He's just based on his look and his wrestling ability alone. It's like, that's cool, you know. I love the tag champs, Gunner and the Cowboy James Storm. Those look like professional wrestlers. Like, you don't mess with those guys. And but the big one for me, the two big ones for me, were Sting and Jeff Hardy, because I used to watch those guys religiously when I was a kid. You know, when I was a younger kid, I would watch Sting, but as I got older and WCW sort of went away, I'd watch Jeff Hardy. Of course, I'd watch Matt Hardy too, and I always thought that Matt Harder was the stronger of the two Hardys, but that's a different video. Anyway, but I watch these guys, and you know, I always think, Sting's like 50-something, I think. I'm always thinking, has he overstayed his welcome? Has he been around too long? Should he just sort of stop? Wrestling? Maybe. I'm not too sure. I haven't watched too many of his matches recently, but I heard that maybe he should slow down the wrestling. But as far as charisma and promo cutting ability, he has not lost it at all. In fact, I dare say he's gotten better, because he's really charismatic. I have to stop and listen to him because he's just so exciting. But Jeff Hardy is, to me, a sad story, because I used to be a big fan of Jeff Hardy. But when the CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy storyline came out on WWE, here's two wrestlers I really liked, and I sort of felt like I had to pick a side. But I decided to pick CM Punk because of the straight edge thing. I'm straight edge, and I just don't approve of people doing drugs like that. So it tore my heart to know Jeff Hardy was, you know, like that. I mean, I did try to give him some leeway because, like I've said before in several comments, jumping off Titantrons and ladders for years is gonna hurt, even after you do it. So that's one excuse I just tried to tell myself to give him. But then there was that match with Sting at what was it, Slammiversary or Edition? It's one of the pay-per-views. There's that match with Sting where he came out all drugged out and couldn't do shit. The match was just taken down to like 30 seconds or something. It was a bullshit match, and he freaking cheated all those people out of their money out of a main event match. It was bullshit, and you know, he deserved to be. You know, he deserved the reaction he got. That, you know, no, we don't want to deal with this guy. If he's gonna be like this, forget him. Just cast him aside, because he's lost it. He's on the deep end. But now, Jeff Hardy, he's redeemed himself. He's back on the saddle again. You know, for lack of a better idiom, I'm not gonna say he's back and better than ever, because he he still takes risks, but just not as many. And he's a little bit slower, but he hits harder. And if that makes sense, he hits harder, and he's doing it. He's really doing it. I don't think he's doing drugs anymore, and I hope he isn't. But if this is the Jeff Hardy we have now, I'm gonna keep watching him because, like I said, he's redeemed himself. It's a story of falling but getting back up again, and those are always my favorite kind of heroes. The heroes who fall, you see them fail. It's not part of their backstory. No, you watch them fail, but then they get back up. But then they overcome it. Then they come back. And that's what Jeff Hardy has done. And that's great, especially for a Jeff Hardy guy like me. I used to watch him. I thought, when I was a teenager, I thought he was the coolest thing in the world, But it's good that he's back and kicking ass and taking. But I never noticed this before, but during his match with Joseph Park, when Joseph Park freaked out and started attacking her, and Jeff Hardy's like, Joseph, what's wrong with you, man? Calm down. I noticed something. Jeff Hardy has a pretty good hero voice. Like, if Jeff Hardy was in an animation project and I was a director, I'd cast him as the hero because he has a pretty interesting hero voice. I never noticed that before, but to me it sounds pretty cool. It reminds me of like a white Johnny Young Bosch / a white Dante Bosco or something like that, Feel free to disagree, but that's just how I feel. Okay, now all the bad things. Okay, let's start with, I know I just praised all the wrestlers and the talent and the roster, but there's one or two guys, there's a couple guys in that roster that, after watching their match, I still didn't learn their name. Excuse me. I didn't learn their name after their match. And usually, when it comes to things like that, I'm good at picking up names. I could watch one episode of a TV show or an anime or something like that, and I'll learn all the characters' names. Not this time. Some guys are so not well thought of, not well marketable. They're not marketable. They don't have a hook. They have a gimmick, but they don't have a hook. Something you could really grab onto and say, this is this guy, That's one thing WWE is really good at. They always try to give everyone some sort of hook, some sort of angle. Something you could latch onto, For example, Damien Sandow. Bray Wyatt, The Shield. Guys who they debut and they're already over. Because they have such a great hook, something you could really grab onto, and this is it. Look at this. Look, it's so interesting. Some of the guys in TNA don't have that at all, and even worse, some of these guys really are not marketable. That's why WWE hasn't reached out to some of these talents because I know a lot of people, especially my friends Crystal and Chronix, they make fun of CM Punk based on the way he looks. He looks like a gas station attendant. He doesn't look like a WWE superstar. He doesn't look like a champion. Well, he still looks better than some of the guys in TNA, because some of the guys in TNA, they don't look like WWE superstars. They don't look like champions. They look like they just got out of prison. They look like you wouldn't hire them to be a janitor, because you're afraid they might fucking shiv a guy or stab a dude. Yeah, that's even worse. Like, you think making fun of CM Punk for looking like a gas station attendant? Well, at least he looks like a guy who would have a job. These guys look like they just got out of prison. And that's not cool. You can't market those kind of dudes. I mean, you could do it to the Spike TV crowd. Excuse me. But to reach a wider, more general audience, you're not going to sell that. You can't sell guys who just look like they came out of prison. It's just not cool. Also, I know this isn't a big deal to some people, but it is to me. Some of their merch, it doesn't look that great. Like, they release t-shirts that I would not wear. Like, WWE does this a lot, and some people say it's kind of plain, but I think it's okay. They'll just release a t-shirt with the guy's logo on it. And the guy's logo will take up like 70% of the shirt. And sometimes that's okay. What's so hard about that? Just release a t-shirt that has the fucking guy's logo on it, you know? Show support. You don't have to fucking hire a graffiti artist to fucking design your fucking t-shirts. It's not that fucking hard. I mean, shit, there are people on Redbubble.com that make better t-shirts. But, yeah, I know the pros look like they outnumber the cons, because they do, but, the cons are much heavier. Especially that one about the guys looking like they just came out of prison. That's bull. Like, ugh. I'm sorry, you just can't market those kind of people. And you especially can't market boring people, because there are those kind of wrestlers that they come out, they do their entrance, they wrestle, match ends, and you don't even know their names. You kind of forget that they're there. I mean, you forget about it once the next match starts. That's why I'm not doing a July 4th Impact TNA review. But I might start doing that, you know. It seems interesting. I wouldn't mind trying, because TNA is trying to be the alternative to WWE, and I think that's a great idea. You know, TNA should get them and look at WWE and say, hey, if you're tired of the whole PG, oh, we can't say bad words or show boobies thing, watch Impact Wrestling. Watch us. Because we're not afraid of bad words. We're not afraid of beer. We're not afraid of boobies. Okay? We're not afraid of wrestling. We can do this. If TNA takes that direction and keeps putting on good shows like the one I saw last week, hell, they'll be good competition. I'm just afraid of them fucking up some more. Which is bad, because they already have like 1/4 of the WWE audience by itself. So yeah. Oh, another pro. Damn, I've been talking for 18 minutes, but I missed a pro and a con. Another good thing about Impact Wrestling. They have some of the best looking championship titles in the business. Like, I look around, looking at championship WWE, not WWE, but yes, wrestling championship titles, because I just like the way they look. You know, I think they're cool. And honestly, TNA has some of the best designs. Like, they look like championship titles. They look badass too. Like, the WWE title, fuck, that looks stupid compared to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship title. And that one looks like a World Heavyweight Championship title. It's got the company name, it says champion, and it has the world on it. It looks like a World Heavyweight title. Another con? 2 cons, actually. Last ones, I promise, because I've been talking for almost 20 minutes. Two cons. First con. I'm still not invested in the knockouts, in the knockout storyline, you know, the women's storyline. But I'll try to give it another shot next week. It didn't seem that great. It didn't seem that interesting. But the knockouts title does look cool, you know, with the crown on top and the white strap. Looks great. It's a good title. Final con. The TNA gut check segments, which is, I guess, like a very fast NXT tough enough thing. It's like they get these 2 guys, right? Put them in a match. Then you have the judges discuss whether or not they're good enough to have a TNA title. They eliminate one of them, and then they have a final yes or no vote on the last guy. I'm not going to say that's not interesting, because it's a good way to really introduce new talent and put them on the spotlight. But one of the judges is Al Snow, and I don't trust Al Snow's judgment for shit. Mostly because, according to several sources, including CM Punk, Al Snow fucking hated the Major Brothers. He wanted them to crash and burn and fail like it's nobody's business. He just wanted to get rid of them, the Major Brothers. He hated them hard. Which pisses me off a little bit, because I love the Major Brothers. I like those guys. And for the big reveal, for those of you who don't know, the Major Brothers are the guys we now know as Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. I like Zack Ryder. I love his enthusiasm for what he does. You know, I think he's a good face. You know, he's not bad in the ring. He's pretty okay on the. He's pretty solid on the mic. You know, as long as he sticks with his gimmick, he's pretty solid. I like him. You know, some people see him as a meme that passed over already. No, fuck you. I like Zack Ryder. He can make wrestling fun again. He brings enthusiasm. And I like that. I like enthusiasm for wrestling, you know? And I just love Kurt Hawkins. Like, God, that man's attitude. He has a serious attitude that I think is cool. And he and Tyler Rex made NXT Redemption watchable. Not only watchable, but sometimes better than Raw and SmackDown. And I've said before, you could write that down. So yeah, if Al Snow is gonna hate on these guys, you know, then the hell do I care what his opinion is, you know? It could be there could be another gut check dude that I would like, you know, that I think could become a future star, that hits all the right notes for what I think a TNA superstar or WWE superstar should be, you know? And he'll say no. You know, just for whatever dipshit reason he thinks up with. So, yeah, I don't care for the gut check segments because Al Snow's opinion is shit to me, so. And there's that, yeah. Okay, I've been talking for 22 minutes. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, I liked, short version, I liked Impact Wrestling. I thought it was cool. Some guys look good, some guys look terrible. Mostly look. But some are boring, some are really interesting. Some of the storylines are okay. They're not too bad. And they have some really good ideas, like the Bound for Glory series. That's cool. It's like a Survivor Series King of the Ring thing, except it's based around points, which I think is really cool. And it's not an instant thing. It's not something you can do in one pay-per-view. No, it takes an entire season. Open Fight Night. That's a good idea. I think it's pretty badass. You could really market TNA Impact Wrestling as a badass alternative to WWE. So, and I'm going to watch the next show, and I might review it. You know what? I'm going to review it. After the next Impact, I'm going to review it. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see was this a lucky shot? Was this a lucky, good Impact? Or do they really have their shit together now? We'll see.